everyone! How are you doing? It's great to be back.
Space.
Space.
What is space? Why do I have to wear a spacesuit? That is so formal. Too cold? Not a problem. I'll just put on a jacket. Why does everyone say you can't go faster than the speed of light? It's super simple. You just go the speed of light, and then you push on the accelerator a little more. Whoop. Oh no, not the sun. The water will put it out. Hey Alexa, play Hula.
If the sun was that fragile, I think we'd all be screwed. Thank God for the sun. Thanks to its gravitational pull, we are constantly falling towards it at all times. That's right, we're not floating. We're falling to our deaths.
Play Who Let the Dogs Out.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't
Alexa,
do that.
play the thing. No. Alexa, play Who Let the Dog... ha. Now I will be able to get all the best nudes. Hey, you should have closed your curtains. Ooh, I wonder what's in there. Oh, hey, how you doing, little fella? Oh, I think he's just sleeping. Aha!
Oh.
I knew it was
Oh God! Oh no!
fake the whole time. All this and more on this episode of In the...
Space.
Space! What you know about space?
Not a lot.
Okay.
My favorite exoplanet is Proxima Centauri b. That is all I pretty much have to say about space.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning.
Oh.
Not the beginning of the universe, the beginning of how people thought space was.
I love that Shrek reference. Whoever got that fairy tale book Shrek reference, you have good taste.
Oh, yeah, so the history of space. Okay, yeah.
So we've got flat Earth, right? Now there's going to be a whole bunch of people in the comments that go, oh, actually, they've known that the Earth was round since the Greeks. We know, everybody knows. No one thinks you're smart, shut up. But there were plenty of societies that did think that the world was flat. Okay, I saw this in a lecture once, or I overheard it on the bus or something. But this is how it goes. You've got like this circular flat Earth, right? And then you've got land in the middle. They call this area the Mediterranean because that's the middle land, right? It's right in the center. And then past the land, you've got water. Now, all that water is mostly fine, but if you go a little further out, there's a lot more water, like a shitload more water. These disc maps you see are not to scale. It goes way further out. But if you try to traverse them, what will happen is sea monsters.
You know what? I always wondered about that. I always wondered, where did this idea that there's all these sea monsters come from? Like, supposedly the Loch Ness Monster is out there. The Kraken, what were these things really? Were these things creatures that we actually came across in the sea? Or was it more like a, don't go that far into the sea, otherwise some scary monster's gonna come and wreck your ship? It's kind of like how a lot of urban legends and cultural lore was really just kind of like stories to encourage kids to behave or to not do certain risky behaviors and stuff. It was really just like a scare tactic that was used as like a parenting tool, or sometimes it was just like societal, like if you do this bad thing, oh, this spooky ghost is gonna get you. You know what I mean?
Right, they'll destroy your ship. Easy. And you can tell that sea monsters are real because once in a while you get some weird thing that washes up to shore. If somehow you make it past the sea monsters, you encounter mud.
Just mud?
It's flat mud, and it mixes with the land, so you can no longer pass by it in a boat. So you can try to walk across it, but it's basically like quicksand, you just straight into it. But somehow, if you manage to traverse this plain of mud, which is even larger than the ocean itself, it would start to get colder and colder. And eventually that mud becomes frozen, and then it turns to ice, and then it's just cold nothingness for far, far longer than all the oceans. And then eventually you come to a big mountain range. And this mountain range goes right round the Earth. And it is the thing that at the very top holds up the filament, which is the thing that encompasses the stars.
This is very complicated. Doesn't exactly make sense. I mean, at least given what we know now, obviously. I mean, these people probably didn't know better, but I mean, that just kind of sounds like if you walk for long enough, you'll end up at the North or South Pole, and then mountains, and then the sky. Wait, are they going to say that next they can climb the sky if they keep going? How far does this go?
So the mountains go up and then it like holds the star canopy above the
It holds
Earth.
up the heavens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Half of the model is there to dissuade people from trying to find new things, right?
Yes, it's like a control thing that stops people from doing certain things. Yeah.
Because if you go out on a boat in the ocean, you die. It's the perfect dissuasion. Hey, look, don't bother trying to discover Australia. If you go out there, you're going to get eaten, then you're going to sink in the mud, then you're going to freeze to death, and then there's also nothing out there. And that's what keeps everyone safe and alive.
You tell the same story to your kid in the village to not go out into the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
And that, circling around, is why they tell us not to go to Mars, you see. Don't come back.
Oh my God. So what you're saying is we used to gaslight ourselves on Earth, but now we've expanded to gaslighting ourselves on a cosmic level. I mean that sounds about right.
I do think we'll colonize Mars. Probably not quite in our lifetime.
You reckon? I
yeah.
think we'll land a person there on Mars in 20 years.
20 years. You're a dreamer, internet historian.
A lot of the original impetus for the space race to the moon was out of competition with the Soviet Union, right? Then we beat them and everyone went, nah, can't be bothered. Now we're back at war with China, so I reckon space race back on. Otherwise, China's going to stick a big flag in it and say, actually, you know what, Mars? It's always belonged to China.
Their flag would look better on Mars. Just
Honestly, from an aesthetic point, he's totally right.
saying.
It'd blend in too much.
It already looks like a flag for Mars. It's got stars on it and it's red. It's perfect.
That's hard to argue with.
I say give it to them. And let's be real, a lot of people are probably going to die colonizing Mars, like, at first. They've got the manpower for it. Everyone will just be fighting over the bit where everyone's landing. It's not like someone will be like, well, I'm going to go over to this part of Mars, and, like, that'll be my part. Yeah.
Man, could you imagine if that was just World War III? Like, it wasn't even here on Earth, it just happened in space.
I think I'm going to stay here where the Twinkies and the women arrive.
Think you'd want to sit up at the poles? Because that's where all the ice is, right? Resources. But also, because of the rotation of the planet and the angle you come in, it's actually more difficult to land there as well.
I see.
So you would have to actually essentially approach by land. Easier to defend. So you're there on the ice, you've got all your water, and then you're just picking off anyone who dares to approach one of those Mars rovers. The Curiosity rovers, I would presume.
That would be super fun. So you're saying if you're going to fight for Mars, you'd stay at the top, 'cause this is mine. I like that. Yeah, solid.
Build a
Very smart.
big igloo, big ice wall, tell everyone to get the fuck out. That'd be awesome.
I love that, yeah.
The internet historian has thought of this a lot. I think that he should be one of the people that is in charge of the Mars colonization. He seems to know what he's talking about. And if nothing else, he simply has a lot of enthusiasm, and that counts for something.
Here's the problem. It's 1960s, NASA, and they can't figure out how to get things into space. It's too far up, you see. How do we get past the filament into the stars? Ordinary things, you're our best scientist. You gotta come up with something that'll get us there. What do you got? Ordinary rocket propulsion, perhaps? Mentos and Coke. What's the big new idea?
So this is what I've got so far.
Right? A man kneeling on the ground, praying to get to space. I like it. That's a great idea, Ordinary Things. Let me get you the funding right now.
No, not quite. This is a dog. See, my plan is,
Oh no, are they going to reference back to the dog in space again?
Trebuchet.
sort of a trebuchet, yeah.
Let me show you my idea. You've heard of CERN, right?
Yeah, they got the big underground thing.
Yes. So CERN is basically a 25-kilometer ring underground, powered by gigantic magnets that send particles in one direction, getting them faster and faster and faster, and then they send particles in the other direction, and then eventually they let them collide.
Cool.
Now, what if you had an extra track
Yes.
that went like this? You got something up to 99% the speed of light, and then you just hit the switch, and then capsule goes... whoosh.
See, that's a cool idea, but I'm just thinking, can the human body sustain traveling at the speed of light? If you travel fast enough, won't you eventually just kind of overwhelm your body? Like, can we actually handle traveling at the speed of light?
Terminal velocity.
Love that. So you're thinking you build up as much momentum as possible on Earth using magnets rather than rockets.
Yep.
Is it the size of atoms in this instance? Or
We're going to have to build a bigger one.
All right, bigger CERN. Got it. All right, massive CERN.
Well, you just make the hole in the middle bigger.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah,
Atom-sized hole, too small. The only problem I can see is that we're sending people through the Earth's atmosphere at almost the speed of light. They will immediately explode. I think
Yeah, right. I was like, I don't think humans. I don't really think we're built for that.
the solution is to put a dog in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cruel.
Do you know how funny it would be if it was like a Tuesday and the supervisor was out of the office for the day and then he kind of came back, I just forgot some of my papers, and he comes in and the guys at CERN are all gathered around because they're firing grape through CERN at a big cartoonish brick wall. Yeah, go Dave, yeah.
I would love to.
I'd like to believe that engineers of all kinds around the world are using their knowledge in very not practical ways just for the sake of it, just because it's fun.
To be at the CERN Christmas party where someone's just like, yeah, man, I'm gonna do a shit in the CERN. Because that's what it's called, the CERN.
This CERN.
I would find it very difficult not to get in the CERN machine, I think, if I was there.
You got on that blimp. Do you reckon you can get into CERN?
I reckon I could give it a go.
All right, if there's anyone from CERN watching here,
Yeah.
my boy
Internet historian is getting so giddy about this, and I love it so much.
needs a ticket and one for his lady.
I'll email them now. People are thinking about space travel all wrong. They're rubes. Those guys at NASA, I tell you, rubes. They
Plebs.
keep trying to send us to space when we
Yeah.
should be sending space to us.
Whoa.
That's not a bad idea at all. Now, space elevator, very difficult. You build the thing 1,000 kilometers up, and then the tip of it is actually rotating faster than the base of it by differences in like hundreds of kilometers an hour. Tensile
Yeah, that sounds very, very inefficient too.
strength, whole thing wants to break apart, right? Now, if somehow you could make a big anchor, wait, how do you draw an anchor? Here, it wouldn't need to be one rope, because one rope is not going to stay strong.
2 ropes.
Here's 20 meters of rope, and then a big joint. Here's 20 meters of rope and a big joint. And you just do that all the way back to Earth.
Love it.
Okay, you'll need like 150,000 kilometers worth of rope. But once you're there, all of a sudden you can just pull things across it, right? What am I missing?
There is one thing.
Yes.
I think the moon moves. So what
I was just gonna say, wouldn't the movement of the respective planets just like tear the rope or something? Unless the rope was turning, I guess?
you're going to end up doing is sort of like wrapping the Earth round. That's the one problem. Otherwise, it's flawless.
I've got a solution.
All right.
There's a rail across Earth.
Rail. Oh my.
Otherwise, it's flawless. It's 99% wrong, but you know, other than that, it's perfect.
God, that's a great idea. That's way better than what I was going to say.
Right? And then you've got your hook in here. It's allowed to slide through the rail.
So in theory, we could like lasso the moon in.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Bring it to us.
Oh god, no, this is Majora's Mask, but the bad kind.
Are there any minerals on the moon worth having? Any resources?
There is a fair amount of helium and also helium-3.
Well, we are running out of helium, so that is convenient.
There's a pretty good amount of water all over the moon too, so that's why, you know, soon there'll be a moon base. And
I have been waiting for NASA to build this moon base for literally decades. They've been talking about it for a while, but they haven't actually done it. And I'm like, come on, man, I want to go to the moon before I die. What are you doing? What do you need? How many millions of dollars? We'll make it happen. Come on, come on. I want to see Earth from a lunar perspective.
they'll be able to collect most of the minerals that they need.
Soon there'll be a moon base. They've been promising moon base for years.
See, this is what I mean. Exactly.
They've been promising moon base for longer than James Cameron's been promising Avatar, and honestly, sick of this shit.
Well, you know what I'm not sick of? Ad time. How's this for a scenario? You're with your honey, and you both have regular size heads.
Wait, hold on. Let me backtrack this a little bit. Hold on. why does the man look constipated, whereas the woman looks like she's just out of it?
You're with your honey, and you both have regular size heads, but you have to share a headphone.
Oh, God.
Well,
You lose. The correct answer was to get Raycons. Look, she's with someone new.
Oh, no. Wait, she's already moved on? Oh, I was just gonna say, why not just let the movie or whatever play through your laptop speakers?
She's loving the up to 54 hours of battle life, and she can't stop putting them in her ears. The silky rubber finish is rigged for her pleasure. Alright, pub quiz, hot shot.
Oh, what? Don't say it like that, no.
It's Black Friday, and it's time to stomp some heads. You gotta win her back by getting her some kind of present. But you don't want to spend too much money, because she might have moved on. What do you do?
well,
The Raycons. They're half the price of other premium brands, but still sound pretty good. Go to buyraycon.com/incognito to get them. Look, this guy loves them.
Wait, so did he get the girl back?
Alright, one final scenario. You're walking down the street, and you see a homeless man, and he asks you for a donation. You've only got one thing on you that's of any value. What do you do?
You give it to him because he really needs some words of kindness right now, and if he has Raycon, then he can listen to motivational videos in high quality ways.
Take advantage of the noise reduction?
Oh, God.
That's right. You have earned the good ending, where you can enjoy the premium sound of Raycons forever. We've got a computer here too, where you can go to buyraycon.com/incognito to get 20% off site-wide. Whoa, 30% off holiday bundles. Whoa, this really is heaven. And free shipping to the United States.
Oh, God, that was sad. I mean, I guess when you think about it, like, what's the odds that a homeless person actually has a phone? I guess. But I wanted the wholesome ending.
Over.
Say you had a box and you put it on like a little satellite that you were going to send to an alien planet. Like, what items would you put in there to represent like human civilization?
Good question. How big's a box?
Let's say it's this.
Well, I mean, we have sort of a box like that. I mean, not quite. I forget what it's called, but there's a box that plays sounds from Earth, like all the time, constantly. And we sent it out into space many years ago. I actually think there's 2 of them. So, I mean, we sort of have something like that, but it focuses on sound. It's not actually, like, made up of objects. Or at least I don't think it has objects in it.
Size of like a caravan.
Oh, big. Okay, definitely a person then.
Okay, just like a dude, like a dead guy, or just
Yeah, they can be dead. That's fine.
That's not a bad idea. Like a dead guy who's like kept from oxygen so he doesn't rot. So they've got like a fully preserved.
I'll just keep him in a cardboard box. So,
Just dump it.
yes. So
We don't have the budget for something bigger.
I like the idea that when they just open up the flaps of the cardboard box, they ooh.
Oh my god.
I suppose you'd have a man and a
That's not the best first impression with extraterrestrials, though. You want to make a good first impression.
woman.
Yeah.
A phone.
A phone, like an iPhone.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to give them the latest one because they don't know.
An iPhone 5 with a cracked screen.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not like they're going to start using it.
Exactly, yeah. Fuck it.
I'd probably get rid of just some trash. There's quite a lot of trash around.
And some batteries.
Yeah, because you can't dispose of batteries anywhere.
Yeah.
Bottle of Coke, full bottle. I kind of like the idea that you're... Okay, so you know when you're a pirate, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm familiar.
And you're burying treasure. Someone finds it 500 years later and they go, wow, this is not just a historical find. I'm going to be rich.
Love that.
I like the idea that they find a couple of human corpses, but also half a dozen bottles of Coca-Cola. There's going to be some rich one who's like, bruh, yeah, I'll pay you 50 billion alien pesos for half a bottle or something.
I think that's the first actually like really good suggestion for the alien box. I mean, fuck Coca-Cola, but it's also a very popular drink and like a good representation of Western society. It's everywhere in the world. Great. And also they might be pleased. They're like, oh, this is a treat. Or maybe it'll kill them. But great suggestion.
Thank you. Maybe also...
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, if you put a penny in Coca-Cola and you wait 72 hours, apparently it dissolves. I don't know how true that is, but what I will say is that when people use a drink as a cleaning solution and it works, maybe it has the ability to kill aliens, you know, just maybe. It's possible.
So,
Music, I reckon.
music.
Mozart on a vinyl, yeah.
Another good one. A handgun?
Yeah, just to show them that we mean business would be good.
Yeah, well, we'll rig it up to a tripwire. Don't touch my
God.
stuff.
Oh, God.
All right, you're stuck in space. You're floating around.
Sweet.
Oh my God.
Loving it.
You're in a spacesuit. I come floating up to you. I go, ordinary things. Help. Help. My oxygen tank has been pierced. I'm gonna die.
Ooh. Oh, that sucks for you.
No, that's not what you say. Now, we've got just enough time. Quick.
Wait, hold on. I have some Play-Doh in my pocket.
We can both survive, but we're gonna both have to get into the same spacesuit.
Oh. Now I'm just imagining some people like in the International Space Station, and they're just like, hey, baby, you want to share a suit? You want to get up close and personal in space? Yeah, well, in a moment, there's not going to be any space between us. Oh, man, now I'm just imagining, like, scientists in space with, like, the worst space puns and also the best space pickup lines.
I've been tricked like this before.
So we have to both squeeze in there. The question is, are you taking the front or the back?
Oh, God. What's it gonna be, bro?
I'll take the front, I think. I'd rather be in the driver's seat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I trust you.
I swear, that's just my wallet, I swear.
That's actually fair, actually. You know, you want to be in control.
It's not gay if it's on the moon.
Yeah, like legitimately. Like you come back to Earth and they'll go, no, it won't.
You know, that actually makes a lot of sense. You know, maybe the default on Earth is being straight, but the default on the moon is being gay. Who knows? You know, it's not Earth. So you can't apply Earthen rules to the moon. That doesn't make any sense. Very presumptuous of you to think that every planet should operate the way Earth does. We're gonna break some new ground here.
Wasn't. It's the moon. It doesn't count at all.
Doesn't count, no.
Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, they could have done it on the moon.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been considered gay. And then I suppose like,
we were lovers on the moon. You know, that's different.
someone shut this man up. Right, someone comes to you and says, ordinary things. You may see the universe, but we can't travel faster than the speed of light, so you have to go into the cryopod.
Ah, the old time delay.
Yes, you can go to Alpha Centauri, but it
Alpha Centauri!
will take 100 years and everyone you know will be dead. Do you do it?
I don't want to just be like launched into the equivalent of Mars in Alpha Centauri and just be like, well, I'm here and I'm dead.
Well, this is what I thought. Like, what's the point of seeing another planet that you can't even live on if you're going to lose all your loved ones doing it? And then, like, it's not like you're landing at a destination and you're here to start a new life. Like, you're just gonna die after you see it, right? I mean, unless your ship, I guess, can sustain you for the travel back, and then you're just, 200 years in the future, I guess, and then you start a new life, knowing what a planet looks like. But other than that, you're very out of the loop with society. I don't know, man. I don't think the deal is sweet enough for me.
I'm fucked.
No, they don't just drop
Like-
you off. You get to go on like a nice big ship. Maybe there's a nice lady there who's also frozen.
A nice little lady, a nice A-list celeb lady who is inexplicably an astronaut, as in all those movies.
Yeah, and you wake her up
Yeah.
early, and because you woke up early, and
Welcome. Oh, whoopsie, but you don't have another choice, so you have to be my friend.
would you do it? Would you want to be one of the crew that goes to Alpha Centauri?
I think I would. I think it's worth it to go do something that literally no one else has done before. I'm down.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Yeah.
If you were one of the first people to Alpha Centauri, you'd just have thousands of things named after you forever.
The whole planet. You get the planet.
Yeah.
If you're the first one there, it's like
Yeah, but there's no one else there to appreciate the fact that things are named after you. I mean, I guess if you're the first crew going to the planet, maybe you're going to establish a human colony there? Maybe? I mean, don't get me wrong, it sounds like a cool idea, but I don't know. I guess I'm just not one for getting things named after me, so maybe that's just it.
this is me land, baby.
Yeah.
No governments. Money is banned. And I haven't thought this through.
You know, if you look at a place like Earth, every creek, every little nook or rock has a name to it. They did that like when people first came to Australia, and I can't help but notice that everything here is named either Murray or after Batman or
After Batman. Wait.
yeah, you don't know about everything being called Batman here?
No, that's new to me. That's
Oh, there's this
news.
guy. His name's like John Batman.
Oh.
And so there's like a Batman River and like a Batman street.
You're kidding.
In middle of Melbourne. No,
No way.
no.
Wow, that's cool. An entrepreneur, explorer, and grazier? Ah.
John
Yeah.
Batman. Oh my god, I'm looking him up now. What?
Look, in the past, how long did it take for people to get from England to Australia? What was it like?
Oh, like a month.
Yeah, a couple of months.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how long does it take to get to Mars? At optimal speed, I think 9 months.
So what you're saying is that we should put all our criminals on Mars.
Hey, it worked once.
Did it though?
How come Australia doesn't get a bit of a pass with a lot of its history?
That's a fair point.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the terrible things that were done to the Aboriginals. But it's like, okay, but have you seen the average criminal reoffending rates? What did you expect?
Yeah, it's not like we sent them our best. We should...
Oh, God.
I've never thought about it like that, but that's honestly like a really decent argument for giving Australia a pass. But like,
Yeah, although it means they did all this stuff while they were out on probation.
Man. Pluto. Oh, Pluto. Poor Pluto. Just demoted to dwarf planet. Or at least I think it's a dwarf planet now.
Now,
Or wait, is it not a planet at all? I don't even know. They're probably going to say it in a moment.
everybody goes, oh, what the heck? Why'd you demote Pluto
See, oh my god, we use the same words.
from planet to dwarf planet?
yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I was right. All right, I thought I made a mistake. I didn't. I'm right. You guys saw it. You guys saw it. I was right.
Yes.
And I can't help but agree.
Yeah.
So basically, they had an idea in mind to make Pluto not a planet, and then they changed all the rules to make it fit their space-based agenda.
Celestial identity politics have gone too far. That's what I say.
Yeah, exactly. There's 3 rules for a planet. Number 1, it must orbit a star. Okay, very good. We're all on board for that, and that's one of the old rules.
That's fine. I can accept that. Asteroids, not planets. Cool.
Number 2, it must be big enough to have enough gravity to force it into a spherical shape. Agreed. That's a brilliant one.
Fine, I'll accept that. But if we see a cube planet at some point, then I feel like we will need to revisit this rule. But
Yeah, I think that there are planets that are other shapes, which is why I find it weird that it's limited to spherical, but there's probably some scientific reason for that I do not know.
as it stands, fine.
Yeah, if there was something as big as Earth, but somehow cube, they'd change the rules
Cube
again.
Earth.
Yeah. Now, the new rule they brought in was it must be big enough that its gravity clears away any other objects of similar size in its orbit.
Bullshit.
That is a very specific rule, just designed to persecute Pluto.
Who came up with this rule?
Well, it was a big committee made up of the deep space state. And one of the reasons that they essentially made this rule was because, well, Pluto actually has a moon that's almost the same size as Pluto. So Pluto wouldn't even just be one planet, it would be like several planets. But also, out in the Oort cloud, there are probably similar sized planets to Pluto, but hundreds, maybe thousands of them.
I see.
And so actually, even in our own given solar system, there would be thousands of them. So what they're running into is a naming problem. Because while we can't teach kids that there are thousands of planets, Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Okay, turns out there are thousands of planets, and a lot of them are really boring and far away. Okay, but here's the main 9.
Yeah, here's the big 9. Why don't you just call them the big planets and the small planets and be done with it?
There's also a couple of objects in the Kuiper Belt, I think, that would suddenly qualify as planets. So Ceres would suddenly become a planet.
Ceres? What even is Ceres? Oh, Ceres. Oh, okay. But that's clearly a moon. It looks like a moon.
Well, it's not what it looks like, it's how it acts, isn't it?
Oh,
It's in the orbit between Mars and Jupiter.
what? Why don't we just make Ceres a planet
Yes,
instead?
absolutely.
To be honest, I'm just going to show my ignorance a little bit. I've never heard of Ceres before. In a way, I feel like you've just made this up to make me look strange. Wait, what's make?
Maki Maki.
Maki. Is that a type of sushi?
Make.
Yeah, okay. It's another planet that's just further out.
Oh, I love it. It's cute.
I mean, it's a dwarf planet, but...
Why does one of them have boobies?
this one.
What? Wait, why? What does this mean?
There's no need for that. Come on.
Eris? Oh, it's a dwarf planet as well.
I'm learning new things here.
Well, no more learning. It's time for some answers, damn it.
I do personally think that last rule is kind of really specific. I mean, it makes sense. I guess if a celestial body could not clear other things out of the way with its own orbit, it could be overwhelmed by another object. Like, it could be destroyed by another object. And I guess you might argue, well, there goes the planet. You know, might as well just not consider anything that's that spatially weak to be a planet. But I don't know. I'm not fully convinced, but I'm also not fully against either. Because I don't know the reasonings behind why they did that. I mean, if it's purely a naming problem, like Internet Historian said, I do think that's kind of dumb. There's a lot of things in space. Space is kind of big. Let it be that, you know? But if it's more complex than that, then I obviously may be like, you know what? They have a good reason. It makes sense.
Big question time. Ordinary things.
Yeah.
Are there any aliens?
No.
All right.
Why? There's millions of Earth-like planets out there. How can there not be aliens?
Is the universe infinite?
It's like a bike wheel. Technically, it's infinite, but you just end up where you were in the first place.
That's good enough for me.
Wait, I thought the universe is infinite, though, because it's growing at such a rapid rate that it's always expanding? Isn't that what makes it infinite? I mean, I guess what would happen if you got to the edge of the universe? Like, if you were able to catch up with the growth of the universe, and you could make it to the quote-unquote edge, where things are developing, what would happen? Would it be so hot, maybe, that you couldn't actually get that close in the first place? Like, questions.
Is there a god?
Yes, and it's me. Suck my...
There we go. Will we ever find out all of the mysteries of the universe?
No.
What if we already have...
I'll tell you what it is. The real answer is love.
I mean, in a way, you're right.
And that's all you need.
Space or love, which is bigger? And if you could only have one, what would you have?
Oh, what about space love?
Is that like 0G shagging?
Yeah, or where you're on the moon and someone says like, "Oh, I love you." It's like kind of non-committal, and they don't really hear you on the radio, and you go, "What?" And they go, "Oh, nothing, over."
What if...
But here's the real question. Can you have love without space? And can you have space without love?
If you're on the moon and then they go into kiss and then they accidentally shatter their space helmets.
No. Like two people vigorously doing cheers.
Yes. Moon love turns to moon tragedy.
You know, it must happen all the time. On the moon, in the future, we'll all have Raycons.
Uh-huh. That was a trip. A space trip! I love space. Ever since I was a little kid, I would read a whole bunch of books about space and nature here on Earth because I was so interested in all these questions about what life is and what the universe is. And this video brings me right back to that place of curiosity. And I really hope that NASA actually builds that goddamn moon base. I've been waiting for so long. We all have. It's about time. I'm glad that space is a mystery, though, and life itself is a mystery, because I think that makes everything more interesting. I think if we were able to find all the answers, we'd eventually get really bored and take things for granted, and allowing things to kind of be a mystery while at the same time, of course, always looking for answers. I like that. It's a healthy middle ground in my mind. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!